To go against Mac Mattingly?
Well, I think it'll go well. We've had one down now. It looks like two's approaching the conclusion. Get ready for round three. And I want my friends to work just as hard from now until November as they've worked in these two.
Do you plan on doing anything differently against the Republican candidate?
Oh, I'll continue to work just as hard as I know how, and I hope my friends will work as hard as they know how.
Do you feel that Zell Miller conducted a fair campaign in the last 3 weeks?
I won't comment on that.
Scott, I wonder if the senator would agree to debate Mac Mattingly should that challenge be issued.
I take one election at a time. This one's not over yet.
Senator Talmadge, would you agree to debate Mac Mattingly?
I take one election at a time. This one's not over yet.
But if you had an opportunity to debate him, would you debate him?
I'll get to that later on.
Have you thought about that at this point?
No, I haven't. I'm thinking about tonight right now.
Okay. Thank you, Senator Talmadge.
Thank you, Scott. Senator, an obviously happy winner, saying he had tough campaigns in the past, but I think most feel this was by far his toughest.
When he does not want to answer a question, he refuses. It's like a cartridge. He plays one cartridge for the answer. You know, he plays it 3 times this time. We're going to the Stadium Hotel right now. Sharon McClamma is there. That's the Zell Miller party at the moment. It's not a party, I would assume. Sharon, what's happening over there?
Dave, John, everyone, the Lieutenant Governor is still not at his party campaign headquarters tonight, and we don't expect him here until he is sure of the outcome of this election and ready to throw in the towel. But despite the returns that have come in, there has been a good crowd here tonight. And actually, the party is livelier than it was 2 weeks ago at the August 5th primary. There's been dancing to North Georgia Southern music and the Zell Miller tradition, a crowd of loyal supporters here, of grassroots followers who Lieutenant Governor Miller had hoped would take him to the United States Senate. The returns have been coming in tonight, and with the urban vote coming in late, some people have held on to the hope that some miracle would happen and that somehow Lieutenant Governor Zell Miller would pull through and there David would somehow slay Goliath. But at this point, with Senator Talmadge, we've just been watching, talking, saying that he is the victor. Nick Green is Lieutenant Governor Zell Miller's campaign manager, or is it time to concede?
Well, I'm going to leave that up to Zell. I don't think it's time for us to throw in the towel yet, but I would have to say without a doubt, things certainly don't look too good over here at the headquarters.
You've been saying that for a long time. Earlier tonight, you told me that it didn't look very good for the Lieutenant Governor. And other people have been walking around saying, wait till the urban votes come in.
It just seems to, we started off the first numbers that came in, the first precinct through the 8th showed 63-37, and it seems to have stayed around 60-40 all night, and the vote margin seems to be getting just a little bit larger all the time. So I think at first you could equate it and give it to the rural areas where he may be having a little better strength than we do, but as the evening goes on, it's obvious that these votes are coming from everywhere, so it's kind of a cross-section of voters from all over the state.
Are you going to blame it on the turnout?
I'm not going to blame it on anything until I can take a look at it. I think we faced a super candidate who has a long record of service to Georgia, and I think that the people have mandated that he go back, and if that is their wish, then I'm sure that most of the folks here in Zell's campaign will certainly stand behind the Democratic nominee.
Nick, John Pruitt just asked Herman Talmadge if the Lieutenant Governor would come in tonight and throw his support to Talmadge, the Democratic candidate in this. Do you think that's going to happen?
I'm going to leave that up to Zell, too. I think that it would be very presumptuous on my part to make a statement like that, and I'm just going to let Zell make his own statements on where he's going to endorse and what he's going to do from here on out.
I believe that John and Dave may have some questions for you, Nick.
Okay.
Well, Nick, I would just ask you, aren't you extremely disappointed with your showing in some areas that you had hoped to do well in? For example, Whitfield County, which went for Norman Underwood, Talmadge carried that over Miller. Floyd County, Talmadge defeated Miller. In southwest Georgia, where Dawson Mathis was strong, Talmadge did extremely well, obviously picking up tremendous Dawson Mathis support. Do you think this might have been a different result tonight if Mathis and Underwood had thrown their support behind Zell Miller?
John, that's a difficult question to answer. You're really giving me information that we're not privy to here, and the only thing that we've had to look at are the totals that have been coming across the screen. So the counties that you're mentioning, of course, are areas of great concern to us that we had hoped that we would carry with a good margin of vote. down in South Georgia, as you mentioned, where Dawson Mathis threw his support to Talmadge, we knew that we were going to lose votes down there, and we knew that we were not going to have the Mathis support. But I think it's a culmination of a lot of things. I don't think you're just talking about rural versus urban. I think you're talking about just a cross-section of people all over the state that seemingly have preferred Senator Talmadge to Lieutenant Governor Miller, and for what reasons, we're just not sure now.
Could it have been the television debates that where Senator Talmadge tried to paint Zell Miller as such a liberal?
Well, I don't know. We tried to paint Senator Talmadge in a box, too. Maybe he's just got a stronger, broader paintbrush than we have, and did a little bit better job. I saw the debates, and I thought they were pretty much of an even keel. I don't think any one person got an upper hand on any of them.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon.
Thank you, Dave.
Good job.
Of course, the contest for the Senate is not the only contest we're watching this evening. In order to challenge Senator Talmadge for the 2nd Congressional District, Dawson Mathis gave up that reasonably safe position for him. And one of his aides, Julian Holland, wants his boss's old job. And there you see Hatcher, who ran first in the primary, is running first in the runoff. But this one has been nip and tuck all evening. Right now, Hatcher having a very slim lead over Holland, and I have a feeling this one may not be decided tonight. The absentee votes may decide the winner of that race, who will have Republican opposition, but it's generally thought that the winner of this Democratic primary will be the congressman from the 2nd Congressional District. We also have some returns from DeKalb County, and Harry Geisinger, who once served in the State House, apparently is on his way back to the State House, but it's very early. This is a Republican race, and the vote totals you see are not great, and that is because most people voted in the Democratic runoff. But Geisinger, with those few votes in, about half the precincts reporting, is leading Bruce Widener. And the winner of this seat, the nomination will be the winner. He will win the seat. There is no Republican opposition. For another State House race, this one a Democratic race, Joe Johnston, the incumbent, is apparently being beaten, is indeed being beaten, and that may be an insurmountable lead by Betty Aaron, a 44-year-old Decatur housewife. She led the primary with 41%, and now she is more than doubling the incumbents' totals with about half the precincts in. In another State House race, this one Republican, Mike Huntington is meeting Sue McConnell, and as you see, with a very few of the Republican votes in, a 2-vote difference, McConnell leading. The winner of this race will face Cass Robinson, the Democratic incumbent. And in that very hotly contested race for the DeKalb County State Court judge, the challenger Chuck Seeliger is defeating the longtime veteran incumbent J. Oscar Mitchell. Seeliger gave Mitchell a real scare in the primary, getting 41% of the vote to Mitchell's 44%. And right now, with about half the precincts reporting, Seeliger is ahead by some 4,000 votes of Judge Oscar Mitchell. In Gwinnett County, Bowen, the incumbent, facing Johnson, and Johnson is leading in that race, as you can see, by about 1,500 votes. And in fact, I beg your pardon, Johnson is the winner in that race. In Douglas County, Garrett has won, defeating Rainwater. That's for the commissioner in Douglas County. Garrett, the incumbent, winning a victory there.
Okay, we have Rockdale County returns to show you here in a moment, and we'll move on after Rockdale to Paulding and Cherokee. Here are the Rockdale County returns. This is in the commissioner's race, and Charles Smith is the winner in this race, opposite Hank Wise. The winner has no opposition in November, so here's your winner, Charles Smith Jr., 62-year-old, retired businessman, winner in the Rockdale Commissioner Democratic runoff race. Let's see what else we have here. Here's the next race. Vic Davis is the winner over Jack Perry for the Democratic runoff in the sheriff's race in Rockdale County. These are the final returns. Just about 2-1 there. Davis over Perry. And now we have Paulding County's returns coming up. No, we don't. Okay, this is the Republican side in the Rockdale sheriff's race. Final returns. This is Tommy Francis beating Larry Kirkus. Francis, a 35-year-old former sergeant in Rockdale's Sheriff's Department, beating Larry Kirkus. He's an electrician, 36 years old. And these are the final returns in this race. This is Paulding County now. There are 3 races to be covered there. Donald Watson is the winner. These are the final returns in the County Commission Chairman race on the Democratic side. Donald Watson, 62-year-old retired teacher, has beaten Henry Wynn, the incumbent. There's your raw figure. These are their final numbers now. Donald Watson beating Henry Wynn in Paulding County. Now we're going to Cherokee County. We have one race there. It's a sheriff's race, Democratic nomination, and Ballard has beaten the incumbent. Bo Ballard has beaten Newt Adams. Bo Ballard's 34-year-old detective for Cherokee County. He has won that sheriff's Democratic nomination in that particular race in Cherokee County, the sheriff's race there. And in Newton County, 2 races to be covered. Varner is the winner in this County Commission Chairman race. Varner is the incumbent, 56 years old. He beats his opponent, Nelson Allen, 42-year-old, described his occupation as a former banker. And there's the figure is very, very close, only about 200 votes or so, or less than that, 150 votes separating the 2 men. Varner, the incumbent, has won that race in Newton County in the County Commission Chairman's race.
Let's go now to Maynard Eaton. He's been staking out the Secretary of State's office down to the state capitol where the votes are being tabulated, and Maynard's with one of our live InstaCams. What's the situation down there, Maynard?
John, down here at the state capitol where the numbers are coming in, it's just a cold, hard numbers game against Lieutenant Governor. Simply put, I don't think Lieutenant Governor Miller did do well enough in the middle-sized Georgia counties like Cobb and Clayton, where Senator Talmadge won. Zell Miller barely won Augusta. To answer a question you asked me before we left, John, Senator Talmadge won in those counties where Norman Underwood and Dothan Masses ran strong early on August 5th. I haven't been here, the Secretary of State, David Poitras, and I just wanted your analysis. Was this a rural versus city